handguns on, and bear spray. This has been a tremendously bad year for bear encounters and fatalities in Wyoming. And it was supposed to be the year that we got to hunt them for the first time in a long time. And a liberal federal judge shut it down again. It's not good. People's lives are in danger.
One, get out of here.
So we're definitely in the heart of Grizz country here, so we just gotta be careful, be smart, and watch what's going on. So just can't take anything for granted.
That little black dot moving around there in the camera is a grizzly. He's about 2 miles away, but it's a grizzly bear. We're moving in on these elk because they're starting to move up the hill. We're moving into position. I look down and I can see him down by a pond. And that's a grizzly.
This is our public land, and we will enjoy it. I don't care what anybody says. It's the first night of our 2018 archery elk trip. Todd's hunted this area quite a bit, so I'm learning all of his secrets. And there's usually historically wallows just over the hill where we're going all the time, so we're gonna go check those out tonight.
3 or 4 different bulls working right now. We're gonna try to get around on them, get the wind right, and just see how this plays out. If we can get a calling sequence, we will. And I'm gonna chase it, and I'm gonna chase it. I know we can't ignore it, no matter how hard we try.
The wind's wrong, we're gonna get out of here so we don't mess it up. This is the first night we're here for 5 days, so this is the 5th one we've seen. A couple of them are a little bit dried up, but there's 3 right in this immediate area. There's rubs all over the place. There's bulls bugling. This is pretty early in the rut, and so they're not being real aggressive, but they're definitely here. Super encouraging for the first night. Todd Helms and I went out to try and chase elk around and with a bow, and we expected to maybe get in some pre-rut behavior and kind of more of a glorified scouting trip that week and then go out the next week. And we got in the middle of a rut fest on September 5th. You know, everybody thinks elk rut September 15th, right? That's the date. That's what everybody talks about, mid-September. And man, that's a good guideline, but it's not a hard number. We, as human beings, I think sometimes that animals follow a calendar like we do, and it's not the way it goes.
No, they don't follow our calendar, do they?
No. We're right above all the elk. They're down in this timber way down at the bottom. We think they're gonna bed right down in there, and they'll probably come back up and feed out here at night. So we're in a super good spot right now, but we can't go bombing in after them. There's about 100 sets of eyes right there. Maybe bugle off one of those satellite bulls and challenge them to come our way. For right now, we're just gonna sit tight. That was cool. We were super aggressive. Todd was raking brush, bugling his brains out, cow calling. I mean, a couple times we thought they winded us. And even if they did, he convinced them to turn back. Nice work, man.
It's fun. I live for this stuff.
That was awesome.
Some of the joys of hunting in grizzly country, huh?
That's right. Well, we found the rut fest that you're looking for when you're early season elk hunting. This is what we talk about all the time in the magazines. What Guy and Ike and Mike have been talking about forever. Behind me, in one of those patches of burnt timber, there's got to be 100 elk over there, and there's several bulls. And so now our challenge is just figuring out how we're going to get closer without spooking them, because the sun is at our disadvantage right now. As you can tell, it's at my back right now, so we turn around to go after him, it's right in our face, which means we're lit up like a spotlight is on us. So we're going to have to find a way to get low or something and sneak around and get on them. I couldn't shoot.
I know.
I had broadside shots at those bulls with like 50 cows behind them. I couldn't shoot. There are 4 or 5 good bulls in that bunch, especially with archery anyway.
Oh yeah. Any of those bulls, any of those 6-point bulls to shoot for archery.
Dude,
This bull's still going ape in the bottom.
they were right there.
Brandon's wife Lori's hooked us up with some great meals. My wife Grace has hooked us up with some great meals. Tonight I'm going to treat Brandon to pasties, a UP tradition. My wife made a bunch of pasties for us, so we're going to get the stove fired up and whip out the pasties, get them warm. Our wives are really better than we deserve. Amen to that.
We're here on the second trip out bow hunting for the fall, and we only got a couple days because of work schedules and a lot of other good stuff. But we're gonna go hard for a couple days, and we're back in the same general area but at the opposite end of it, so that way we can get a feel for what's going on this end. And it seemed like the elk were kind of gravitating down towards this end anyway. And we're just glassing tonight, but we're gonna hike up on this ridge tomorrow. That's the plan anyway, and hunt a lot of basins that are up in there. Put these in a burrito. We got an Alaskan burrito, my friend. Pretty dang good when you're starving in the backcountry. last year's.
Yep.
Technically a 6-point.
A lot of times the archery season butts right up to the rifle season, and so you can go in the last 3 or 4 days of archery and maybe get it done with your bow, but if you don't, you're right there for opening day of rifle.
We're gonna go down after this bull. We still haven't gotten a good look at him, but judging on where he's at in that timber behind me, it's a very good chance it could be the bull I saw last week. And he's a tanker. He's a good one. And we're studying the maps a little bit better and looking at the terrain. And it looks like a sea of green behind me, but there's an opening where there's a little sub-ridge that he's just on the other side of. And we're gonna try and creep through those trees because it is pretty open in there. You can get on an elk trail and try and peek up over the ridge and hopefully get a shot. Stay tuned. And I've got my good luck hat on besides.
Look on your left. Comes. Got him. Hit him again. Alright, he's got a tree in his way. He's down. You just killed a big bull.
I told Scott I'll wear my lucky hat that everybody thinks is ugly.
It's the ugliest hat ever.
Dude.
Look at his offside.
I did not see that.
I didn't see it either.
Look at his fronts, man, dude.
Yeah. Dude, look at his royals on that side. Look at that big sword.
Dude. Look at that bull.
I normally do this type of stuff, but I'm gonna walk up.
You know, I heard a really wise person tell me a number of years ago. He said, you know, life is made up of the experiences that you live. And I know that sounds pretty simple, but do some exciting things, and what's exciting to you might not be exciting to somebody else, but whatever trips your trigger, sometimes you just gotta take a chance. You know, you gotta see what you're made of, and that's what I tell my kids. I've got 4 little kids, and part of the reason why I do is you gotta, I don't know, test yourself is the right word, but it always shows you what you're made of. You know, whether it's being a father, a husband, an employee, an employer, a hunter, whatever you're doing, do it as hard as you can, as best as you can, and you have no regrets when you're done.
like to know why I had to carry the video camera. Because I had the horse.
Excuses, excuses.